Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We're here today with our good friend Carly Fauth. Carly has been a fitness instructor for nearly a decade. She strives to encourage and motivate her community by helping everybody find joy and fun in fitness. She's trained in and has taught over 4,000 classes in all types of fitness methods, including yoga, bar, inferno, hot Pilates, HIIT, strength, spin, and aquatics. Her goal is to keep you motivated by always encouraging you to step outside of your comfort zone in a safe, supported, and motivational environment. Carly's first book is titled Pray for the Bear, An Ordinary Person's Guide to Unlocking Extraordinary Personal Strength. It turns out that Carly and I have many things in common. We both have lived several years in Freehold, New Jersey. We attended the same church for many years. Carly babysat for my daughters many years ago, and we were both cancer survivors. So you can learn more about Carly and all of her work at fitfuncarly.com. And that's Carly with a C, C-A-R-L-Y. So Carly, it's so wonderful to be here with you, and congratulations on all that you've done.
Thank you so much. I was about to call you Mr. Elaine, but I'll call you Brian.
Yeah, that's fine, please.
Okay.
When you were younger,
Yeah,
that
then.
was
Yeah.
natural, but it's like you're not a little girl anymore, like when I
No.
first got to know you.
No.
So the first thing I have to do is ask you about your cancer treatment. How are things going?
I'm doing great. I finished my last chemo treatment August 7th, and then I didn't have to do anything after that. So no radiation, no medication. So now I'm just getting my strength back and trying to get back to whatever normal is.
Yes, exactly.
New
Well, I know,
normal.
speaking from experience, it took me, several months, I think, to feel like my strength and stamina were back to what they are. But you're a little bit younger than I am, so hopefully it'll go
Yes.
quicker for you. And you're in better shape than I am too, without question. So I'm sure it'll go well, but it does take time.
It does. It really does. It takes a lot out of you.
So before we talk about the book, I'd love you to share more about your fitness training business and all the challenges and transitions you've had to go through, between the pandemic and now, your cancer treatment.
Yeah, I'm the founder of Fit Fund Carly. It's a virtual platform, so I think the pandemic actually helped me push ahead. But it was very hard being a fitness instructor during my diagnosis and my surgeries and also chemo. I really had to rely on my method, which is helping people get fit in less time. I have a 15-minute method where I have a whole platform based on 15 minutes a day, helping people ease their way into fitness and learn how to enjoy it. And so it's not so overwhelming in a safe way too. So I always believed in my method because I know it worked. But after my surgery, especially my double mastectomy, I actually had to use what I teach my clients because I was starting from a point where I had to be really careful. So
Sure.
yeah, that was really interesting. It just made me see the value of it even more. Um, I love helping people get fit. I love, like I said, helping people find the joy in fitness and helping people learn how to take whatever limitations they have, whether it be physical or time or mental, and help them push past those boundaries so they can live a healthy lifestyle.
Well, I think it's really great, to see, what you've been able to do,
Thank you.
through all of these changes and challenges.
Yes.
But I think, I was in a similar situation that I was already using Zoom and already familiar with doing all kinds of things online before the pandemic hit. And when that caused, all the in-person things to basically cancel or, cease for a while or try to convert, those of us that were already there, I think had a little bit of an advantage, a leg up on, continuing our businesses.
Yes. Yes, definitely. I felt like the pandemic was a negative thing for a lot of people, but for me, I was just able to make the most of it and push ahead.
That's really good. That's really good. So you've also recently launched a new program specifically for cancer patients called
Mhm.
Gift Plus, which stands for Guidance, Inspiration, and Fitness Through Treatment and Beyond. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so um, I had worked with cancer patients before my diagnosis doing Reiki and also helping cancer patients come back after their treatments. And then getting cancer helped me see fitness from a whole new perspective. It also helped me see that when you are diagnosed with cancer, you get a lot of gifts from people, very well-meaning people, lovely gifts, but you get a lot of the same thing, like blankets, socks, that type of thing. And I had a whole pile that I really wasn't using, and I kept thinking to myself, like, what could be something that somebody could give someone else that would truly make a difference? And then I thought back on what saved me during my treatment, and that is fitness. And doctors will tell you that it's very important to maintain your fitness during your treatment, but they don't really have the time to tell you how to do it. And it can be very scary, especially for someone who maybe doesn't have that mind-body connection coming into their diagnosis. So then I thought, what a great thing for a loved one to get someone they know or care about, someone to talk to about staying fit. Maybe they don't have the confidence to go to a gym, or maybe, like I said, their doctor hasn't really talked to them about it, but they really want to get into it because it does make you feel better. So the gift program is a way for loved ones to buy sessions with me to help keep them fit and safe during their treatment. So I can kind of hold their hand and tell them what to do based on what they like to do, where they're at in their fitness journey. And I also think it's different coming from somebody who has experienced what they are going through rather than not just a doctor. Doctors are very important, but I know what it feels like not to be able to get out of bed and to be so exhausted that you feel like you can't take a step forward. But lots of times pushing past that, even for just a walk to the mailbox, can help you feel better with the symptoms of your treatment. So that's where that came from.
I mean, I think that is so excellent and so needed because, as you said, going through chemo, the most important thing is exercise and trying to stay
Yes.
fit. And as the doctors will say, as you mentioned, but that differs tremendously from person to person as to what that means, or how
Mm-hmm.
they could still, have a fitness regimen. So, having your experience and your personal consulting in that space has got to be really helpful for people.
Very helpful. And it's really funny how my whole method that I developed pre-cancer, this is just me applying that method to cancer patients. That's how safe it is. It's great for everyone, but it really applies to anyone fighting a big challenge in their life, which some people it's cancer, other people it's something else. But it's just a great way to keep yourself in shape without it becoming a stressor. And like I said, in a really safe way, like really figuring out what works for you and what you can do instead of focusing on what you can't do.
Sure, sure. Well, good for you. Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have to also ask you, how all of this has affected your family. You've got young children.
Yes. I have an 11-year-old and I have two young boys, and they were really great during the treatment. Um, I have a 10-year-old, I have to get used to saying 10, and a 15-year-old, two boys. And I think they were probably at really good ages, if there is a good age for me to be diagnosed, because they were able to kind of understand what was going on, and the little one could lean on the older one a little bit for support. So yeah, it was hard. I think it's hard being a parent with cancer, but I also think it can help you because you have to keep going for your kids. You don't have the luxury of just laying around and saying, woe is me. You have to kind of keep things normal for them.
It really is a motivating factor, I'm sure,
Yeah, yeah,
by necessity, but nonetheless,
yeah.
just
And then you
being a
could,
parent's a
yeah,
motivating factor for a
yes,
period, right?
yes, for everyone. Yeah,
For a
you got to keep
parent.
going. Yeah.
So let's get into your new book. As I mentioned, the title is Pray for the Bear, an ordinary person's guide to unlocking extraordinary personal strength. So as everyone knows, I've worked with lots of different authors. So I know that writing a book is not an easy thing. What decided, what made you decide to do it?
So as you can see, like I couldn't even remember my son's age before. Chemo brain is a real thing. So I kind of knew that as I was going through chemo. And I wanted to make sure I was staying mentally sharp. I also had a lot of thoughts going through my head and a lot of emotions, and I've always loved to write. So after I was recovering from my double mastectomy, I started getting the idea of maybe I should write a book because I've always loved to write. People have been asking me, like, when are you going to write a book? Thought maybe now's the time. So I just started formulating the ideas in my head. And then once I hit treatment, that's when I really started putting pen to paper or typing it out on my computer, and just having the streams of thought that I was going through was very therapeutic. I didn't want the book to be just about my cancer journey. I really wanted to tie it to being a tool that other people could read to help them through whatever challenge they're going through. So I firmly believe no one escapes in life. Cancer was my challenge, but could be loss. It could be some other physical limitation you're facing. And I really believe we can pull on our past experiences to get us through whatever it is we're going through. So it's a book of anecdotes of little things along my way that helped me through my journey, with action steps for people to take that they can pull on things from their journey to get them through.
Well, again, with speaking with so many different authors, I know that it's been valuable for them to be doing journaling,
Yes.
and writing things down, kind of stream of consciousness. And it's also been healing and therapeutic oftentimes as they write the book, and reflect on whatever it is that their challenges have been or what they're trying to get across. So I can definitely see how that would be helpful for you, through that
Yes.
process.
Yeah, it really was. It really gave me an outlet. It just was like a more constructive way of journaling, I thought. I had an editor edit it for me as I was writing it. So that kind of was a nice thing because she could help me as I was doing it. I didn't have to just send her the project at the end.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was really happy that I did it. I didn't want it to take a really long time. I wanted it to be something that people could pick up and not take a long time to read. Like they could read little bits and then put it down and then pick it up again and not feel like they were going to lose track. Because like I said, it's little stories.
That's wise. That's wise. And I think that the topic of grief, and pain is universal.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, uh, just from a kind of a book marketing strategy, that's makes a lot of sense, for authors, I think, to pick a particular area that they have experienced in one way or another and leverage that to the broader concept of, overcoming challenges and overcoming
Yeah.
pain and grief.
People don't really like to talk about pain or grief or that kind of thing, but it's important to talk about it because like you said, we all are experiencing different things. The feelings are the same, but the things that are causing the feelings are different, but it's generally the same feeling for all humans.
Yeah, yeah. And it's almost as if, the writing that you did during that period of time was almost like keeping your brain fit, just like,
Oh yeah.
you work to keep your body fit.
Yeah, because like I said, I could feel like some days I couldn't even sit in front of my computer. Things that took me like 10 minutes would take me a half hour. And I
Wow.
still find myself needing to exercise my brain because it takes a while to come back after chemo. Just the recall isn't there as fast as it was, and I get easily confused. So that really helped.
So let's talk about the title of your book. How did you
Yeah,
choose that?
actually, there was a good friend of mine sent me a Instagram reel, and I forget who was interviewing Kobe Bryant, but it was a really powerful reel. And at the end, he said, "If you see me in a fight with the bear, pray for the bear." And she said, "That's you. That's totally a quote that you should say." And then I was like, "That is a good quote." So I that was my rallying cry during chemo was pray for the bear. Like you think you got me? I'll show you what I got. So I thought it was a great name for the book.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's very catchy, and it's a great theme to hang your hat on. So,
Thank you.
who would you say that the book is most intended for?
I wanted to make it simple enough in its language and its format for teenagers to read. I really did want to, so I wanted to make it easy to read. So I would say teenagers through any age. Anyone who was, like we said before, like any human being that's going through a hard time, which is every human being. I wanted it to be something that anyone could pick up. So it's not overly poetic or anything like that. It's really straightforward.
Well, it's very practical, which I
Yes,
love.
very
And
practical.
so many books that I read will be great in terms of analysis or talking about the history behind some issue, whatever, but they many times will fall short on the whole question of what do we do about it,
Yes.
right? And so I love the fact that your book doesn't suffer from that deficiency because you offer, practical strategies for overcoming obstacles.
Yes, yes, it's very practical. And I didn't want it to be a workbook, but I wanted it to have a purpose for why someone would read it. Like, here's my story. Now, what can you do in your life to do something similar?
Excellent, excellent. So, this is your first book, and as we both know, marketing books is a real challenge. And when you're kind of recovering from cancer treatment, I think that adds an extra challenge on top of it. What marketing steps have you found to be most effective for you so far?
I think it was very helpful that I built a platform and I have an audience that I've been speaking to for a while. So I sold the book pre-sale. I sold it for free shipping, and then people would get an autographed copy by me. And I sold 280 copies pre-sale before the book even came out. Those are
Excellent.
actually waiting in my driveway right now to be sent out. Um, so I did that. That was helpful. And then I plan on doing some pop-ups at local bookstores, and really pushing it out to local bookstores, but just like bookstores that really highlight women, especially inspirational stories by women, and taking it like you said, it is an overwhelming experience. Doing more podcasts, just using my platform to push out the book. Anytime I
Sure.
do an event, bringing my books. But yes, it is. It's very challenging. That on top of everything else is a lot of work.
Well, you and I are both are, pretty online oriented. And, so there's clearly a lot of things that you can do in that regard, but it's getting tougher and tougher just because the internet is just noisier and noisier. It's
Yes.
hard to rise above that noise with anything, regardless
Yep.
of what. And so many authors have begun to kind of go back to in-person events, you
Hmm.
know, as, one of the methods that they use. So, and that goes hand in hand well with a book. If you can speak to a women's group or a cancer survivor group or some
Yep.
other kind of group, church groups, about, you know, your book and your business, they kind of go hand in hand in terms of, sourcing new opportunities.
Yeah, that's what I plan on doing. So what I was waiting for the books, I wanted to get the books out for pre-sale
Yes.
first before I like announced it is on Amazon, but I wanted to get that out first and then announce it on Amazon and then hit the pavement and really, really get going with it.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, coming out of chemo, your immunity level is down,
Hmm.
your fitness level is down, right?
Hmm.
So, I mean, the timing of you coming out of all that and now with the availability of the book in print, it's probably good timing than if it had come
Yes.
early.
100%. I think the timing is great.
So, what do you think you would like readers to most take away from the book?
Um, I think that everyone can find their own bear that they're fighting against, and that you should always know that the bear is never stronger than you. Just believe in yourself, pull on past experiences that got you through other hard times. Surround yourself with really good people. Do that now. Cut people out who are not helping you be a better person. And really putting kindness out into the world, because if you do that, it's going to come back to you when you need it.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
So you've been a serial entrepreneur for several years now,
Yes.
as I've been, and you've now authored a book. So what advice do you have for people that are considering going off on their own?
Oh, well, it's a roller coaster. You have to have thick skin. You have to be willing to work hard and wear many hats because you don't have a staff if you're just starting out and it's just you. Have patience. Take a break. Celebrate your small wins.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
my biggest things.
Good, good. One step at a time. It's a
One
marathon, not
step
a
at a time. Yep,
sprint.
exactly.
So I know you're kind of in the middle of a book launch, but I have to ask you, are there any other plans you have on the horizon, either for new books or new projects that you're able to tell people about?
Well, the gift program was my latest big project that I'd
Sure.
really like to push out there and help more people. And just continuing to grow my business. I don't know, maybe I'll write another book. Constantly thinking of ways to really help people tap into the love of fitness because it's so important for people to keep their physical and mental health. They're tied together. So to really focus on that. I don't, I probably need a vacation, so that should
Yeah,
probably be next time. I
you're
just,
right.
I think I need a break more than anything else, but that's not my personality. I feel better when I'm pushing forward. So I will take a break. Maybe that should be next on my agenda.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
We share a lot of, personal characteristics in
Yes.
common. I know that, but you
Yes.
just touched on a couple of them
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Well, I'm so happy for you, Carly, on multiple
Thank
levels.
you.
Your business, your book, your health. I'm so glad that you're coming through this well. And, we'll all be praying for you as we have been. And I just wish you all the best and so many congratulations on all the work that you've done.
Thank you so much, Brian. I really appreciate you asking me to be on your show. It's been a pleasure.
Well, my pleasure. I was really looking forward to this.
Me
Uh,
too.
so don't forget the name of Carly's book is Pray for the Bear, an ordinary person's guide to unlocking extraordinary personal strength. And if you want to Google her on Amazon or on Google, it's Carly, and her last name is Fauth. And her website again is fitfuncarly.com. So Carly, again, thanks again and best wishes on everything that you do.
Thank you so much, Brian.